Hello, everyone. This is Steven Schinder of Yesshift, and I'm doing a live Yesshift News Desk edition episode. Dad couldn't make it to this, but he wrote down a few thoughts which I'll relay in a bit. And yeah, got a lot to talk about. There's some stuff involving Yes, stuff involving Asia, a little bit of King Crimson, and Focus. I got to listen to the album Focus 12. I was sent the digital download so that I could review the album. So I'll be talking a bit about that. So yeah, first off, I'd like to. Oh, let me share this around real quick. Um, yeah, I'd like to talk about something that happened yesterday, a really great thing, which we've talked about on the show, have talked about was coming up, which was Play for Chris 10, organized by Miguel Falcao, also known as Miguel Bass. You can find his YouTube channel. Um, and yeah, there are some really great tributes in this video. Well, first off, Dad didn't have enough time to play what he wanted to play for the tribute, so we'll probably do that for next year. But he and I were able to do like the opening intro for this video, talking about Chris and Alan and Peter, sort of kicking things off. And yeah, there were lots of great tributes in this video. I think it was almost 40 minutes, if I remember correctly. And there were some, the Yes classics, but there were also some deep cuts. There's a bit of talk representation. There's a song by The Sin, which was not on my radar at all. I had to ask about what it was. It was called The Promise. And yeah, like there are some really great surprises in this, and everyone was so talented. It was so cool. And I'll go ahead and give me a sec. I'll go ahead and read off what my dad's thoughts were on the video. Um, so he says his biggest surprises. Well, I'll read it in his voice. My biggest surprises were our song by Robert Nasir, uh, and the gentleman I mentioned with the 5 string bass sitting down who did Heart of the Sunrise, the amount of people who had Rickenbackers, and it was fun to see the different models. That was fun. And I was a little surprised that this year there were almost no orchestral or other instrumental reinterpretations as in previous times. And that doesn't make this any less impactful. I just thought it was interesting. I did enjoy seeing that Relayer got a few nods, particularly with Gates of Delirium excerpts, and the same with Ritual. And yeah, there's also a bit of To Be Over in this. So yeah, it was a really well put together, great submissions, and great editing on Miguel's part as well. So after this, if you haven't seen it, go ahead and check that out over on YouTube at Miguel Bass. It is so incredible. And there's also a post from Billy Sherwood saying, thinking of Chris Squire on this day, hero, mentor, and dear friend. And he posted this nice pic of the tribute that they did back in 2015 when they had the Rickenbacker in the spotlight. Let me just get to the right window. And yeah, there it is. Like, it's hard to believe that that was 9 years ago. Chris is passing was that long ago, and it's just so difficult to believe still to this day. But like we say, his music lives on still. And Billy also posted, and we also shared over on the Yesshift Facebook page, a link to the YouTube video of Yes performing Walls on David Letterman back in 1994. It was recently the 30th anniversary of that performance. I see a comment in the chat. Bella Lugrisi on YouTube saying "Play for Chris" was awesome. Yeah, I think I saw you in the chat while that was going on, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, these "Play for Chris" tributes are always well put together. And yesterday was also a different anniversary on my end. So it was actually also the 15th anniversary of the first Yes concert that I attended. And I made a post about it over on Facebook, but also talk a little bit about it here. So I shared this photo from the show. Um, and this is I'll have to scroll to the next photo. Yeah, this is me as a teenager, and this was a Yes and Asia show. If you look closely, you can see him holding up the bass there. But yeah, there I am. I went there with dad and with then future stepmom Enja and my uncle Lee, as well as the four of us. And this was my first time seeing either band in concert during the hiatus years when things seemed a bit uncertain with Yes. I wasn't sure if I would be able to see them in concert. You know, it was a big question mark. And so when this finally happened, and it was with the in the present lineup, you know, Benoit David, Oliver Wakeman, Chris Squire, Steve Howe, Alan White, and it was a really fun concert. I was so happy. And Asia opening for them, and Steve Howe doing double duty, you know, playing with both bands. And John Wetton's voice was amazing. And I was really high on the Phoenix album hype. You know, Phoenix had come out a year before the first Asia album with the original lineup in 25 years. And it was incredible. So this was at the Thomas and Mack Center in Las Vegas. And they played a couple. I'll read off the set list real quick. So um, let's see. Asia did Wildest Dreams, Only Time Will Tell, An Extraordinary Life. Video Killed the Radio Star, so Buggles' representation in The Court of the Crimson King. And The Smile Has Left Your Eyes, Don't Cry, Fanfare for the Common Man, during which point Dad yelled at Carl during his solo to say, "Take off your shirt," you know, harkening back to the ELP days. Soul Survivor, and Heat of the Moment. Of course, he got to close with Heat of the Moment. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just reading through this. Okay. Yeah, so the Yes set list: Firebird Suite, of course, Siberian True, I've Seen All Good People, Tempest Fugit, Astral Traveler, which also included Alan's amazing drum solo. That was a nice addition to it. And You and I. And during that song, you know, Steve dropped his glasses, but he was still able to play, you know, his solo spot Province and clap, and then new glasses were brought to him. And then they played Owner of a Lonely Heart, Machine Messiah, Roundabout, Heart of the Sunrise, and Starship Trooper. And back in the day, I wrote up this recollection of the show on Forgotten Yesterdays, and reading it more recently yesterday, I was kind of taken aback by what my writing style was like back then. But yeah, it's gotten better since then. I might have more pictures of this concert. Well, I certainly saw a disc that was labeled as such the other day. I just haven't had the time to try to connect that to something and get the photos extracted from it. But either way, it's an incredible memory, and really glad I was able to see Chris Squire and John Wetton. This was the only time I saw either of them in concert. Yeah, so speaking of which, it was also Lisa Wetton's birthday, and I saw there's a clip over on the original Asia Facebook page where she talked about one of the upcoming venues on the upcoming Heat of the Moment tour being significant. And just as a reminder, we interviewed Harry Whitley and John Mitchell of the new Asia lineup the other day, and it was a fun interview. We got a few good laughs, and it really does feel like they're trying to honor John. But in this video by Lisa Wetton, she said that one of the venues, the Bergen Performing Arts Center, is significant because 7 years ago, it's where the first John Wetton Memorial Celebration was held. So yeah, I'm sure that is it's maybe it'll conjure up some memories for anyone who was there at that time and might be going again. There's also a bit of a show update. So over on the Original Asia page, see, the post said, please be aware that due to unforeseen circumstances, the performance on July 21st will now take place at a different venue. The Heat of the Moment tour will now play at the Parker Theater, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. This is the full show. Nothing has changed except the venue. If you had tickets for the Pompano Beach Amphitheater, we have been told that tickets purchased on AXS will no longer be valid and you will be refunded in full. Tickets for the Parker can be purchased here, and the pre-sale code was Parker in all caps, and the link is over at that post on the Original Asia page. So just go there, scroll down, you can't miss it. And there are also a couple nice photos. The band had rehearsed; they finished rehearsing, I believe. And Dylan Wetton, John's son, came to visit and took a picture with Jeff Downs and wanted to wish the band good luck. So that was really nice of him. And there was also a picture of the current Asia lineup, which I'll go ahead and pull up real quick. It's really nice to see them, like all four of them standing together. Because I don't know if there's been a photo of them standing together like this in this position where they're, in profile as the lineup. So there they are. And yeah, it's, really nice. I really like they have like the spacey is a spacey background here on StreamYard, or is it part of the graphic? Okay, I think it's part of the graphic. Yeah, I was a little bit confused right there because we also use kind of a spacey background here on our end. In fact, okay, yeah, I'll go look at that later, sort of compare and whatnot, because I'm kind of curious now. That's kind of funny. Let's see. And of course, the upcoming Heat of a Moment tour commences on July 3rd, includes Roger Dean and his art, Martin Turner of X Wishbone Ash, Curved Air, and Focus. So, a really great roster of artists. And like I mentioned, we were sent the download for Focus 12, the new album from prog rock band Focus. And I've not gone through their entire discography. I did listen to Focus 11 beforehand to get a good idea of what their sound is like more recently. And of course, there's their classic song Hocus Pocus, and maybe I've heard a couple other cuts over the years. But yeah, I'll go ahead and first I'll show you the cover of this new album. Let's see. Presenting. Okay, get to this window and get to the next slide. Okay, there it is. So Focus 12, and done by Roger Dean, that unmistakable style of his. I'll actually go ahead and remove the overlay real quick so that you can see the whole thing. But yeah, it looks really nice, really incredible. I think the the way that the colors look, it kind of feels a bit closer to some of the 70s style Roger Dean stuff. I don't know how to really describe it, but yeah, I think it looks really nice. You got the orange and blue and purple. Um, it's a really great composition here. And there was also a release of one of the singles from the album, Focus 13, which is the second track on the album, actually. And in fact, that in itself has um, has Roger Dean art. Hang on, I'm trying to get to the window where that is. Um, Okay, maybe I have to stop sharing and then share again. So let me just get that on the screen. Let's see. Okay. Um, oh, here it is. Yeah, Focus 13. So uh, a bit different, but looks like it's still in that world in terms of the shape of the buildings. And you can see the lines right here, the strokes, like the direction that the colors are being put to the piece. And yeah, it's a pretty good single, and I'll go ahead and share my thoughts on the album overall. um, Oh, I see Dad is tuning in for a bit. He says that Focus 12 cover might be one of my absolute favorite album covers by Roger Dean. I just love the vividness of it. Yeah, I love the vividness of it as well. I see Joe Waller is tuning in as well. And nice to see you again. So this album, it's really good. I'll go ahead and read what was on the press release real quick. So, founded by Thijs van Leer, Focus have been at the forefront of the progressive music movement since 1969, yet they still continue to deliver engaging, innovative, and skillfully crafted music. Focus 12 exemplifies this and proves why they are still a firm fan favorite the world over. For Thijs van Leer, age 75, and Pierre van der Linden, age 78, age is nothing more than a number. Both continue to contribute to Focus with a passion. Thijs, who has written the majority of the new album, rises at 4:30 a.m. every day in order to work on his compositions, whilst the album boasts some of Pierre's greatest and most energetic drum sequences to date. Allowing the younger guard to take the audio reins for the first time, Focus 12 is produced by band members Udo Panikiet and Menno Gutierrez, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, who also contribute 2 compositions on the album. Thijs commented, "How beautiful life can be when a band plays so easily and so together." Focus 12 was recorded at the world-renowned Wisseloord studio in the band's native country of the Netherlands. A first for Focus, the album features a completely improvised piece which was captured as it spontaneously took place in the studio during the recording process, thus proving that more than 50 years on, the band are still excited by undertaking something new and different. So this album has 10 tracks. I almost said 4, which is not correct, but um, that's because the first track is called Fjord Focus. And this really gets things off to an energetic start. It sets the tone, it grabs you, it hooks you in real quick. And then you get the new single, Focus 13, which is a bit of a slower pace, but still feels complex. It's not something that sounds like it would be super easy to do. It actually really feels like Focus. And actually, it picks up the pace a bit later into the song. Like, it starts off a bit slower, but the pace picks up later, and there's a vibrant Hammond sounding sound and some speedy drums. And that's something that I picked up on as I listened to some of the tracks on this album, which I should say is all instrumental. is that some of these songs will begin at a slower pace, and then midway through, you'll be surprised that it picks up and shifts gears, and it like it's the same track but different speed and tone, and that's something that I noticed on a few of the tracks on here. Oh, I see another comment from Dad, who says, "With all these wonderfully aging musicians, I'm always asking myself, how is it that they're that old? And then I realize, oh yeah, I'm in my 60s, and I was a fan when I was a kid. Haha." Yeah. So track 3, Bella, has an emotional, I guess you could say bombastic ending. And yeah, I really enjoyed that. Track 4, Meta Indefinita, has a nice flute work from the start and some slower guitar plucking. Feels more mysterious, has kind of that mysterious vibe going to it. And then you have track 5, All Aboard, which feels more playful. The flute is great once again. I think it's a flute, some sort of wind instrument. And steady rhythm on the drums. That's at a good pace. And the guitar adds some nice textures that sort of echo in the background. And as it keeps going, it feels sort of like the vibe of a jungle, which I thought was really cool. So yeah, this album has had some really good stuff going on with it. Then we get to track 6, which is titled Born to Be You. And it's very piano driven. It feels introspective. And it's the shortest track on the album at just 2 minutes or less. Track 7, Nura, has an organ sound that it kind of sounds like an ELP organ sound, like Emerson, Lake and Palmer, a bit like Jerusalem to my ears, that song by them. And the pace quickens by the end with the guitar getting its moments in focus. Focused. And track 8, Bowie. This is piano driven, but not as quiet as the earlier composition that was piano driven. It has, to my ears, it sounds like very complex finger work on this one. Track 9, Positano, has pensive keys and guitar on it, and the pace changes midway through. Feels like very magical prog rock music. I'm not really sure how to encapsulate that in words. And then track 10, Gaia. The pace changes again in this one, and it really is a track that very clearly encourages the listener to clap along to it. It does trail off at the end, sort of fades out. It leaves me wanting more, really, which is a testament to the overall sound of the album. Yeah, like, I don't know. I guess I was kind of expecting a different type of ending where it would feel a bit more punctuated instead of a fade out. But yeah, that really is a testament when it does leave you wanting more after you've enjoyed what you've heard on this album. And the each track is whoa, each track is not too long. I think they average around 5 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, yeah, it does look like most of them are around 5 minutes. Yeah, okay. So yeah, go ahead and check out Focus 12. This comes out on July 5th, and over on Burning Shed, you can get the CD, you can get the vinyl, or you can get both together in a bundle, and you can even I saw that on the listings. It said signed, so if those are still available, you can go ahead and get those. And yeah, I really got to get around to listening to more of the Focus discography because it's really great stuff. All right, so getting back to the next thing. So while we're on the topic of Roger Dean, I want to quickly mention that he his page had this post about those jigsaw puzzles. So I'll go ahead and share my screen again. Just give me a sec. Okay, I know what I need to do. All right. Let's see, Roger Dean jigsaws. Okay, it's this window right here. Okay, so and I'll remove the overlay so you get a better view of that. So the post said, Asia Dragon is now sold out, but we still have Astra, Freya's Castle, and Green Parrot Island left. These are 1,000 pieces made from recycled board, 3 designs to choose from, the aforementioned ones I just said, and worldwide shipping is available. So go ahead and check out Roger Dean's page. I saw this on Facebook, and the link is in that post. And yeah, I'd like to have one of these puzzles. Like if that would be really fun to work on. So regarding the Heat of the Moment tour, I saw that Martin Turner posted about having finished rehearsals. And on the Curved Air front, there's actually a Rarities box set coming out. So this is set to be released in September. And let me just look at the info and scroll down. And while I'm at it, I'll show the box set. Why does this thing keep disappearing? I don't understand. Okay, so present again. Share screen. Okay, so there's the Curved Air, the Rarities series box set. And there's a bit of detail on this. So includes all of the band's Rarities collection of CD releases, which originally came out between 2016 and 2019 and are now out of print. These include the 1972 performance at Germany's second ever British Rock Meeting Festival, Francis Monkman's 2003 release Jam, and the band's acclaimed 45th anniversary concert at Chelsea Football Club's state-of-the-art venue Under the Bridge from 2015, which featured the band performing their 1970 debut album Air Conditioning, with guest appearances from violinist Daryl Way and bassist Ian Iyer. So yeah, this includes a tapestry of Propositions, which is an hour-long version of the track Propositions, recorded live at 14 different locations during the band's 2013 to 14 tour. Curved Space, previously released as Francis Monkman's Jam and featuring original Curved Air drummer and bassist Florian Pillington, Mixa, and Rob Martin, now featuring 2 unreleased tracks. Infinity, featuring all new 2016 jam-based studio recordings driven by Monkman's replacement in the band Robert Norton. The second British Rock Meeting, 1972. The only known recording of this lineup, Improvising. The last track is an extended jam on their hit Vivaldi, which lasts over 30 minutes. And Live Under the Bridge, the 45th anniversary concert featuring a performance of Air Conditioning in its entirety. Also includes a booklet featuring brand new sleeve notes written by Prague magazine editor Jerry Ewing, who interviewed lead singer Sonia Christina. And yeah, this is all these details are from the Prague article that came out online about this just today. So yeah, I might have to check out some curved air. I've been meaning to for a while, actually. All right. So next on the list, while we're talking about new releases, and you can get this on uh, burningshed.com, and this is from Spirit of Unicorn Music. So while we're on the Burning Shed front, there's also something else that to talk about, something that came out today, actually. So this is, well, we talked about this before on one of our previous episodes, maybe a month ago or a month and a half ago. There's this deluxe edition of Fragile, which has just come out today. Let's see. Okay, here we go. And there's actually a track on this titled "The Dean," which got released officially by us on YouTube. And I think if I were to listen to that without context, I'm not sure that I would clock in that it's Yes and during the Fragile era. Like, it was very unusual. I'm not really sure. I don't really know a whole lot about it. But yeah, this deluxe edition is out today, and I'll go ahead and yeah, if you're watching the video, you can see the vinyl there and the CDs and the booklet. So this contains an LP of the original analog cut of the album, 4 CDs, which are the original album, a Steven Wilson remix, rarities and live recordings, and a Blu-ray featuring new mixes by Steven Wilson, including the album in Dolby Atmos and 5.1 mix DTS HD MA. And renowned audio engineer Bernie Grundman cut lacquers for the set's LP. So yeah, and we've mentioned this before. Each CD, you got the original album remastered, 2024 remixes and instrumentals, um, rarities and more rarities and live. So yeah, this is quite fascinating stuff here. And another thing that came out today, which is also available on Burning Shed, is the King Crimson 50th anniversary release of USA. Let me just get to it real quick. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so actually today is the 50th anniversary of this performance, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I'm just getting to the listing of it real quick. Let's see. USA 50th anniversary Blue Sparkle, released on the exact 50th anniversary date of the original concert recording at the Casino Asbury Park, New Jersey, USA, on June 28th, 1974. King Crimson's Blistering USA, available as a limited edition on double 200G Blue Sparkle vinyl. And yeah, you got the tracks Walk On, Lark's Tongues, Part 2, Lament, Exiles, Asbury Park, Easy Money, Fracture, 21st Century Schizoid Man, and Starless. And it's a great live album. So if you're really into King Crimson, maybe you want to try to grab this one while you can. And speaking of King Crimson, and Bill Bruford and whatnot, I already talked about on a previous news episode a Project tour, which a couple shows on that involve Bill Bruford in conversation with Anil Prasad. I think one of those has passed, and another is coming up. And of course, on Bill's YouTube channel, you can find King Crimson and Earthworks and such performances. And but another King Crimson related thing is a tour by Beat. It's called the Beat Tour, and it involves Tony Levin, Adrian Belew, Steve Vai, and is it Dan Carey? Is that the other name? Yeah, I thought I had this written down somewhere. Let's see. And I'll go ahead and pull up the graphic for that tour. Let's see. Yeah, Danny Carey. Yeah, I got it right. So the graphic for the tour, just give me a sec. And this is the last graphic that I'm sharing from this. Okay, so Beat performing the music of 80s King Crimson. And due to overwhelming demand, multiple new shows got added to this. So the dates here are from November 18th to December 18th, starting in Thousand Oaks, California, and ending with Highland, California. So it looks like this is pretty much okay. So some of these dates are on the West Coast, and then they go to New York, Connecticut, so East Coast as well. And then I guess go down to places like Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, then Arizona, and Highland, California. Okay. So maybe this is something that we'll have to catch. I know it piqued Dad's curiosity, and it'd be cool to see this King Crimson material in concert, from the 80s. And, between this and the stuff that David Cross and his band have been doing, it's really cool to see the representation that King Crimson music has been getting. It's really cool. Yeah, so people can go to beat-tour.com, or is it dash or hyphen? But yeah, it's coming in November and December, and it should be very exciting. Okay, so there we have the player again. Let's see, what else do I have on here? So yeah, lots of great touring stuff going on. You got that pretty much at the end of the year. You got the Heat of the Moment tour in the summer, and John Lodge's tour, I believe, is also in the summer. And you got the Band Geeks stuff. I saw that Chris Clark shared a clip of Starship Trooper, and there have been a bunch of clips from that. So we're not short on live shows from all these various artists. There's a lot of great live performances going on, which I'm really grateful for. And so the last item on this news episode is that there was Yes music featured in a trailer for the upcoming Robert Zemeckis film titled Here. And it seems to involve a house, like it's showing multiple generations of different people having lived in it. Stars Tom Hanks and Robin Wright. There's some de-aging going on, and people have their different opinions on how that looks. I think in this instance, it looks more convincing than other examples I've seen in stuff like Star Wars, but I think I've seen opposite reactions from other people. But yeah, this trailer included a good chunk of Your Move from I've Seen All Good People. Dad's favorite Yes song. Favorite. It kind of brought me back to when a little bit of Your Move, the was used in the trailer for Big Fish back in the early 2000s, and very briefly in Mr. Deeds a couple years before that as well. And of course, a few months ago, I've seen All Good People was featured at the beginning of Fargo season 5, which I admit I still need to get through. Like, I haven't committed the time to watch that season. So yeah, this kind of reminded me of those instances, and I do kind of wonder how many more people might get turned on to Yes just from hearing the music in this trailer and being like, "Oh, this sounds very good. Who is this band?" And sort of looking through their catalog and um, discovering the pieces that become what they really love. Um, and I do wonder, like, if this song will be in the film or if it's one of those instances like with Big Fish where it's in the trailer but not in the film itself. So I guess we'll just have to wait to find out. But yeah, that's all the news for now, and lots of great stuff going on. Things have been very busy on our end, but it's great stuff. Over on Drum Talk TV, Dad interviewed Evelyn Glennie and Leslie Mendoki the other day. Um, Leslie Mendoki, I've talked about his album Mendoki Soulmates, Memory of Our Future, a couple times recently. And yeah, so coming in July, there will be of other stuff, Dad interviewing people on Drum Talk TV, but also stuff going on Yesshift. I know that our third anniversary show is coming up. So on July 11th, tentatively right now we have the time of that anniversary episode as let's see, July 11th at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. UK time. So I think we'll have an assortment of a few different things to talk about, as well as reminiscing and such. And Dad still needs to make his way through the Talk box set, and we'll talk about that at some point. Maybe we'll even talk about that on that episode. We'll see what we end up deciding. But yeah, you can follow Yesshift at Yesshift on YouTube and Facebook, and on podcasting apps. If you type Yesshift, you'll probably find us. And you can also write to us via yesshiftpodcast@gmail.com and let us know, suggestions and feedback and whatnot, topics you want us to discuss. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. And I'll probably come back on here in a couple days or so, continuing my Stevens Vinyl Adventures series, talking about the experience of listening to the vinyl records I've had finally on a record player and share my thoughts on that. So until then, see you all next time.